University, the voice of Reichman University.
The Baseline. Stories from the court with Jonathan Rears and Mayor Cohen.
All right, guys, we're back here today. Baseline podcast, Jonathan Rears, Mayor Cohen. Today we got on Zoom in Puerto Rico, John Holland. Thank you for coming on, man.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
We'll just give a little background on John from the Bronx. Went to Boston University for 4 years, played college ball there, and then his overseas ball started in France, went over to Spain, back to France, Turkey, went to the Cavs G League team for 3 years, then moved up to the Cavs, played with LeBron for a couple of years, back to the G League for the Cavs.
Actually, in between there,
okay.
I actually got called up to the Celtics.
Right. I saw that.
For a little bit.
There for the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a good little.
And then it was Prague, right? After the Spurs.
No, I went to
Puerto Rico.
I think the Puerto Rico and the Philippines,
and then
Israel, Jerusalem, yeah, and then
Russia.
Jerusalem, and Russia again,
Turkey,
another war, and then Turkey.
So you've been through all of it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little about what we do here, the Baseline podcast. We've gone on for 3 seasons now. What we do is we want to give a voice to overseas basketball players here in Israel, but now also just abroad. We came here, we go to school here. We came here and realized that there's such a love for the sport here in Israel, and covers all of Europe and other places as well. And we felt that we needed a platform for athletes to be able to talk about their experiences. What's it like being so far away from home? As there's like a new generation of hoopers that are going to understand that going overseas is like a real option and real people do it and have real experiences with culture and basketball and everything. So what we've been doing for, a long time now, 6 months feels like a long time, is bringing stories into the light, talking to players who have a lot of experience like yourself, who's been all over the world like we just went through. So thank you for joining us.
I love that. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
You interviewed a few of my friends, so I appreciate that.
That's good. Yeah. That's what we want to do. And, I like to start these interviews really just asking, like, whoever the guest is, in your case, John, talking about basketball in your family, because I know that your dad played at Iona, and that's got to be a big influence on your basketball view and how you kind of got into it at the beginning. So,
actually, my first real love was baseball. And I kind of only played basketball in the winter when I couldn't play baseball. But yeah, my father did play at Iona, so I'm sure he has some type of influence because we would always be on the court together. But even with baseball, being an only child, I really wasn't. I never wanted to go out for any teams or anything. I was just cool playing with my parents or out in the street. So it wasn't really. I wasn't really like much into the team thing until maybe 6th, 7th grade. He made me join a team, baseball team, basketball team, and stuff like that. So that's really how it started. But really, all the credit to him because he put me in that direction, I guess, with sports. So,
what do you think you learned from him that kind of like helped you on later in your career that you still kept with you as you're playing as that's how I was raised?
Oh, I mean, he's more of a scholar than a basketball player. He actually went to Columbia. So after that, for grad school, for journalism, he's like he taught me more about, life than basketball. But he's been influential. I guess the lessons can translate through any sport, just into life. And I appreciate him, honestly. He's one of my biggest fans, him and my mom, my family. So, I know they're always watching. He's always there to give some type of critique or comment about, me not doing something or doing something. You know how fathers are. They kind of, they always trying to improve your game. So I appreciate him.
Right. And growing up in the Bronx, how is the high school ball like? And then ultimately ending up choosing to go to Boston University. Why don't you walk us through that process?
Oh, well, for me, the first 4 years of my high school career, I went to a really more of an academic school in Fordham Prep. I don't know if you're familiar with the New York CHSAA basketball scene, but Fordham Prep is not generally, known as like a powerhouse. Back in my time, it was, Rice, St. Raymond's. Now it's Stepinac, and it's like, you know, they have all these schools now. But really, Fordham Prep has never really been like a big basketball school. So after my 4 years, I didn't have any D1 offers. So I had to, email different schools, and one of the schools that I emailed constantly was St. Benedict's Prep in Jersey, and the coach at the time was Dan Hurley. So I I emailed them constantly. Eventually, they probably just said, "All right, let's give this guy a tryout," and I went there, took that trip on the PATH train down to New Jersey to Newark. And I just played, and I was able. They started a prep team, and I was able to make that team, and that really kind of jump started uh, me and my career, I guess, going to Boston University and leading to everything else. So I gotta give credit to, yeah, obviously Fordham Prep for laying the foundation, and then St. Benedict's Prep, Dan Hurley, and other coaches there, Dennis Dubois, a lot of coaches there that helped me take that next step.
What was it
So,
about Boston that got you like intrigued to go there?
and I'll add to that if I can. I want to hear about Dan Hurley, the legendary coach himself.
Oh,
Like
that was
that's
an
a
experience.
legend
Yeah.
man right there. I see what he's
Uh,
doing in college ball, yelling at his players. Like I can only imagine the verbal abuse that guy was dishing out in high school.
I mean, he definitely got me prepared for college. I think everybody was prepared. His guys, obviously, they come from a coaching family, and I think obviously he's one of the best coaches in the country. And even then, was we had an amazing team and a lot of talent, all Americans, different coaches in the gym every day. So like, it kind of helped develop me. I was kind of, I guess, used to a high level of competition. Uh, and it definitely helped when I got to college. And he's intense. He's intense, real Jersey City guy. So, um, it's something that you get used to, but he creates an environment that if you tough enough and you can get through it, you're really gonna get a lot of value out of it. You'll be tougher for it, and it'll give you an advantage as you go forward.
Amazing. Yeah. And then John's question about Boston, like, was that because that was location wise? Why was BU a place that kind of stick out for you?
Uh, I had originally committed to Manhattan College, but that was in the Bronx, and that was a little too close. And Boston seemed to be like the perfect distance to go to college. I could get back when I wanted to. I liked the school. It was academic. It was a great school. Um, and the coaches, I had a good relationship with them. They recruited me. They wanted me. So uh, it was just the best of. It was the best of all the worlds at that time. That was the one of the biggest offers I got, and so I took it.
Right.
I
And
didn't
well, you
have
balled out
I
there.
didn't really have that many options, but the options I did have, that was probably the best. I wasn't sure if I was gonna play basketball. Like I wasn't even sure if I was good. Like coming from Fordham Prep and then going to a powerhouse like St. Benedict's, you don't know. You're dealing with a lot of good players, so it's hard to gauge how you are. So Boston was the best opportunity for life.
Right. Still a big D1 school at the same time, and you go there for 4 years, and from the second year, you were killing. Your sophomore to
Yeah,
senior year, you were averaging over
from
18
the
points.
first year. I mean, I was prepared because, like you said, Dan Hurley, he kind of got you ready. So like I came in there pretty prepared for the experience, and I had success pretty quickly. So
So while you were playing at a high level, like from your sophomore to senior year, at what point were you thinking about NBA overseas and what your next step was in your career?
I was not until the end of my senior year. Really. So I got there and I was like, yo, I just want to play. And then from there, I'm just looking forward to the next year. I want to do better and better and better. And the start of my senior year, I just want to, you know, have a good year. And I'm not even really thinking about the next step or anything like that until it's all over. I was kind of just focused on playing that next year or playing well at that moment. Um, that was my focus. That's really what I was locked in on. And then, after obviously you have to pick an agent, you have to, you have all these different workouts for these NBA teams. So then it becomes like a real opportunity to kind of make some dreams come true. So, uh, but I originally going there in the 4 years, I really wasn't thinking about anything but playing there at that moment.
But the actual signing of your first pro contract, like what did France kind of tell you, if they was some kind of recruiting process, or was it, you get that agent who's involved in overseas, and what's the process before you actually sign on the dotted line and, start playing overseas?
So I ended up signing actually with Wasserman, which is I think an Israeli agency, right? Um, I ended up signing with them, but it ended up being a situation where, I got this offer. This is a good offer. I was fortunate. I went to this thing, that seniors have called Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. It's a tournament that, the top seniors go to. I did pretty well in that tournament. So I had some offers. And probably the thing that made me go, they had another dude on the team from the Bronx, Andre Barrett. And he's like a legend in the Bronx, or actually in high school basketball. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but actually he's just like in the New York culture, New York street ball, actually basketball culture. He's one of the point guards. This dude Andre, he was on the team, so I had always kind of looked up to him and heard his name, and then I had a chance to play with him, and then they were offering good money as France Pro A. So I could wait for the lockout to be over, or I could just go over and sign. And I just decided to go over, start my career, and it was a good experience. I mean, I did well, so that kind of
And
jump started everything.
what was those first 4 years like? You went France, Spain, France, Turkey before coming to back to.
Uh,
So what were those first few years like overseas?
I would say they were pretty frustrating because I felt as though I never gave myself a real chance to get to the NBA. Like I was always kind of deferring for whatever reason, whether it be a lockout, more money, more situation, better situation. Like it was always something that kind of prevented me from actually giving the NBA like a solid shot. And so it was good, but I always ended up feeling kind of frustrated. Like I still had not even the goal of making the NBA. It was the goal of trying, like of feeling like I could play in the NBA and not even having the opportunity to try, because I was just overseas and that was where I was playing. So that kind of always nagged me. And it bothered me because it was getting to a point where, like I'm keep going. You go for this amount of money or that amount of money. And like eventually, when I'm playing, it's at the end of the year, I'm kind of like, it's a long season and I always have something inside of me. I always had something inside of me that felt like I didn't give myself the proper opportunity that I think I deserved because I thought I could always play in the NBA. I knew I could play in the NBA.
And from there, you go to the Charge for 3 years, right? And you
Yeah, yeah.
do the G League route. So talk us through that. You gave yourself a chance, and you actually did make the Cavs team.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, exactly. So it started out, I said like, you know what, no matter what this year, I'm not gonna go overseas. Like it's not gonna happen. Like I refuse to go over. And so I I stuck to that and I said I wanted to go with the Charge. And um I think I got to the Charge maybe October-ish. I remember at my I remember, my roommate, it was Quinn Cook. And um we would always just be talking the whole season. What are they looking for? Like, what do you have to do to get out of the G League? Like, do you want to play the right way? Do you have to score? Like, what's the secret? Like, what are these teams looking for? And I remember we were in the playoffs and we were playing Boston's G League team, the main Red Claws. And at that point, it's the playoffs in the G League. So I'm over the fact, like I'm like kind of settled on the fact that I might not get a call up, whatever. Let's just try and win this championship. And we had a really good team. And so we played the main Red Claws. We played them, and I played really well for those 2 games. We beat them. And then my agent calls me and like the Boston Celtics want to call you up, and it's like kind of crazy because I'm in the middle of this playoff run. So it's a bittersweet kind of thing because it's like I went through this whole season with these guys and we just won a round of the playoffs and now I have to just leave.
Beating the Celtics.
Yeah, beating the Celtics G League team, go to the Celtics where I went to. It was an amazing experience. I went to school in Boston, so it was a great experience, but I always like found it a little bittersweet because I kind of just left this G League team and it felt so unfinished. It felt so like, oh wow, yeah. So I'm just off the team and I'm watching the games. I'm in the hotel room in Boston, like dream came true, everything. But I'm still watching the games with the Charge, just seeing how they do, like fully invested in the whole other G League team because it's just I spent so much time there that season, and it was a blessing to get called up though, and it was like great being in my.
Did you enjoy that Boston playoff experience?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Got to be around, Isaiah Thomas, all the players, Boston Bob, Brad Stevens. It was one of those experiences, that was amazing. I've been fortunate, but I had a lot of great experiences in my life and been around a lot of great players, great coaches. And this was just another one. And it was my first experience with the NBA, and I'll remember it forever.
Right. You talk about great experiences. I counted it up. We counted 57 playoff games in your career.
Yeah. Wow.
So
it's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Yeah. A lot of big games.
You get called up by the Celtics. My question to that is, tell us a little bit about how that works. If you're part of the Cavs G League team, the Celtics kind of have access to any pool of players that they're able to call up. Or I previously thought it was just the Cavs. So let us know how that process works. And did you ever get told that was a possibility?
I guess they saw me play and they knew I maybe probably was from, like, went to school out there. I guess they had been following me. Honestly, I was hoping the Cavs were gonna call me up. They ended up winning that year, but they had. I guess I couldn't wait on them basically to call me up. So my agent told me about the opportunity, and they did it. So then I did it. I said, yeah.
So tell us about that adjustment. You go from D1 playing overseas, come back to the G League. All of a sudden, before you know it, you're shipped on a plane, or however you got to where the Celtics are playing now in the playoffs.
It's crazy. It's like you just leave, you pack up everything that you had for the whole. I went to Canton at that time. They were the Canton Charge, and you just pack it all up one day, basically. Like we're out of here, and I took a plane to Boston, and got picked up. Got to the hotel, got a car to practice. It was crazy. I think they had a game that day, actually, and went to the game. Like,
did you have that welcome? Yeah. People talk a lot about welcome to the NBA moments, but for you, it's just like it was such a fast, time.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind, and it was at the end of their season, so it was like it's kind of like just there, like maybe to play. We had an injury. I was thinking maybe I was gonna get in. But I did get in, actually, at the end of one of the series in Atlanta. That was my first time getting in.
Going from the Charge and then Boston for the playoffs, after that happens, you end up going back to the Charge the same year, right?
The next year, yeah. The next season.
What was the vibes in Canton afterwards?
And how did they do? Did they have after you had left? What happened to the team?
No, so they lost to this team, the Miami team, the Sioux Falls Skyforce is the Miami team, and they had a really great team, right? But I'm pretty sure, like they set the record for like most wins or whatever in the G League at that time. But I'm pretty sure if we had our whole team, the way we were playing so together, we were so locked in. I think we could have got them. I'm not even gonna lie. I think we could have got them. Like, and you can never tell. You never know what could have happened. I have a lot of stories like that, like what could have, should have happened, what got cut short. You know, stories that never ended. Whether it be COVID, whether it be a war, whether it be a couple wars. But uh, I just know that we had that team. We were playing at a high level, a real
So
high level.
after Boston, you go back to the Charge and you play with them another 2 seasons. And during the second season, you end up going to Cleveland to play 22 games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was on a
What was that
two-way. It
process
was
like going up to Cleveland and playing with LeBron?
it was great. It was
I
great.
retweeted that. I
I mean,
retweeted.
it was a great experience. Everything that you could probably think it was amazing. Being there for that, and at that time, at the beginning of the year, they had so many people. I had a locker next to D Rose. Like, they had Dwayne Wade. These are all like some of my favorite players, D Wade and LeBron. And I've grown up watching them. And then obviously you have great players like D Rose, Kevin Love, and great, not only just great players, but like a bunch of personalities too, like Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson, Iman Shumpert. Like it was a team full of like it was a crazy experience just to even be in that locker room, especially at the beginning. And then at some point, Jr.
So you get there, and as opposed to your, of course, short time in Boston, you now have like this real opportunity to play in a lot of games and really help the team, which you did.
Yeah.
So from that kind of perspective, I know it's a cliche question, but I do like to ask you, like, when was you're there with the team the whole season. You're not like at it at the very end. You're there to see it from pretty much
Yeah.
start to finish. So when was your kind of moment that you realized, like, not only am I here, but I also can actually benefit the team and help you guys be as successful as you were?
Um. See, in that situation, the opportunities are, especially on a high-profile team like that, are few and far between. But there was a time when they traded everybody. At, they traded. I think it was D Rose, D Wade. They traded a whole bunch of guys. Um, and then there was like a few games where I got to, play a little bit.
Now for your like your career is obviously very interesting based on how many places you played. But also, I think your career is unique in a certain way that you have this legitimate overseas experience in the top leagues, in some of the top leagues in the world in your first half of your overseas career. Then you
Yeah.
show up and play in G League for the Cavs. You have this amazing experience. And then you have a second half of your career overseas. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious about what are those things that you picked up when you were around the NBA that helped you kind of propel the second half of your career, which was, just as strong, if not better, than the first half of your career. So, what are
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just the growth and development of me as a player and as a person. I think for the first part of it, I think I had uh, itch that had to get scratched, like trying to go to the NBA. But once I had a little time and I experienced that, I think I was able to more focus on what I was doing at that moment. And so from the second half, I saw myself having a lot of and being around Braun and just winning and seeing every day the work ethic and I just hope maybe something rubs off. But the second half of my career, I think it was I was fortunate to be on a lot of good teams, you know, and a lot of teams that that the guys I still talk to this day. Starting out, in Puerto Rico, we won a championship. Then I went to Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is one of the biggest disappointments
Oh,
in
really?
my career because COVID kind of stopped a run that we were going to have that I believe we were going to win all of Champions League. We were going to win. We were going to win the Israeli League, and it was going to be amazing. We're going to be one of the best teams in Europe. Just stamped. It was another one of those runs. Like we were locked in. Anything that any team could throw at us, we were locked in. And everybody on that team, if you asked them, they know that we were going to make a run. Like we're kind of like, I don't want to say unstoppable, but we had that thing rolling. We had it roll. Oded as the coach, man. That COVID really took a couple championships away from me.
Okay. Y'all had Pargo also on that team. Great player.
Yeah, but that was the second half when they came back.
Oh, okay.
That was already after.
Why don't you
COVID.
talk us before, like, the whole process of coming to Jerusalem in 2019? What was that like? I know that you posted on your Instagram, you're like always hearing about Israel and like you were excited to come here. So why
Yeah.
don't you talk about coming here?
Well, it was about finding the right situation, and I had played with James Feldean in high school. We played against him in high school, kind of knew him, and I saw the team, and the team looked great, and they said that they really wanted me, and it was a perfect situation. Like the team was amazing, all my teammates were amazing, and we just won. We won, and it was like easy. Jacobin, we had so many players. Shelvin, Mack, like Sue, like
You had
it was
Levy.
Nimrod. Yeah, we had Barr, we had Tamir Blatt. Like we had everybody. Like we were really a legitimately really good team.
Right.
Really good team, and we were going to win Champions League. I think we were going to win the Israeli League. And it got taken. There's a lot of stuff happened.
I do think that every team after that, you went to the playoffs with.
Well, from there, I went to
Russia, right?
And we made it to the finals of. Yeah, I mean,
actually,
I went to the finals of Euro Cup back to back 2 years in a row after that. So once with Russia, which was another team that was an amazing team. Love that team too. I've been fortunate. I just look back sometimes on my career, and I really am thankful that I was fortunate enough to play with such great players, such great people, great personalities, and had so much fun during these seasons. Because, sometimes seasons can be hard or difficult, and they always are. They always have ups and downs, but I'm just so grateful. I've been fortunate. I've been playing with some great guys, and it's always been love, and it's always been a great experience, especially that during this time, like after, yeah. So now that Kazan team we made it to the finals of Euro Cup, and we gave it up to Monaco, but
and
that's
the war
another
broke
team
out in Russia.
That's the next year when we were in Euro League, and another great team. And I didn't even really get to play like fully with them because I was there 3 weeks, and next thing you know, they start bombing the Ukraine, and there's so much uncertainty going on that I just felt it was probably best to leave the situation, which in itself was a crazy experience, just trying to get out and just not knowing what's going on, a lot of chaos, a lot of, questions about what's going to happen. And, teammates started leaving. I said, you know what, I'm just going to get out of here.
From there,
I went to Turkey. I went to Bursa, and like, you got to understand, like I'm getting so lucky with these teams that I get on. Because I go to Bursa, this pretty small city in Turkey. I mean, it's not Istanbul, and it's like it's just a perfect fit. And we make a run again and go all the way back to the championship of Euro Cup. Like it was crazy.
It's like
It
the
was
past
crazy. Like
six
that was,
years, you've been having runs wherever you go. You're the
yeah,
go-to team.
it was just a great run. Like, and the team was just a great team. Like we had it all, the coach, the players. And I say this about like I'm just like the third team I'm saying this about, but it's true. Like all these teams, like we just everything just clicked.
Right.
And I'm just lucky. And hopefully I had a little part to do with it.
To see some of the stuff that you've done, kind of like on the media side, as we get to when you get back to Hapoel Tel Aviv, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
what you did when you were there with the podcast, but also I don't know if I'm getting the name right, but it was like understanding the elderly or the older people. Focus on
Oh
business.
yeah, yeah,
So when did
yeah.
that
Oh yeah,
become?
that's just in my family. I'm just doing stuff for fun now. I'm just doing stuff for my own passion projects, kind of similar to what you're doing. You know, just kind of like a passion projects, anything that moves me, anybody that, you know, that I want to hear from or I want to talk to or that, you know, I enjoy who they are. And you know, I just, you know, talk to them. And it's not really for anything, but you know, oh, hold on. It's not really for anything, but it's just something that I do for myself, that
And
I did for myself.
talking about the transition to a Puerto Tel Aviv, this is, I guess you're showing up 2023 around August time, right?
Yeah,
That's where you kind of begin the Off Days podcast and
yeah, yeah.
had
Cause
Ofer Yana on the pod.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
chopped it up. Had your boy
Man,
Jacobin.
Ofair's a great guy. He little wild, but he's a great guy. And you know, he supports the players, you know.
Right.
And I said I wanted to do a podcast. He was like, "Yeah, sure,
I
you can do
saw
it."
I saw
Yeah,
the clip about the watches too. You would have got the watch.
would have got the watches. I was a couple years too late, a year too late.
Right. He did a lot of big stuff with the Paul. What was your experience like with
No,
him?
but he had a vision and a plan for Hopwell. And he executed. he he definitely executed. And it was a process, but he did it. I mean,
Right.
much respect for him for building up, for having that vision and building it up to where it is now, and where not where it is now, but where it could go. You know, who knows? You know, because Maccabi has kind of dominated the Israeli league for a very long time, and I think it's pretty apparent now that there, you know, there are some other teams that can compete
Right.
for sure.
Jerusalem could have taken that game from you.
Jerusalem,
So if you're
Jerusalem, yeah, no, I know, I follow Jerusalem still. Jerusalem had a great chance, and obviously this year, Hapoel winning Euro Cup and then taking that jump to EuroLeague, I think it should be very, very interesting
yeah.
to see next season
But
what they do.
right. And then you start the podcast and you probably play a couple months in the season and like the amount of mental toughness I'm sure you have for your long career, starting with the lockout, the NBA lockout,
Yeah,
deal with COVID, going to Russia, having to deal with that war, and then now obviously you have October 7th. So
October 7th. Yeah,
as an American Puerto Rican guy traveling the world playing professional basketball, coming to Israel and playing on a great team that you want to be a part of, and then that happens.
yeah.
What was kind of your reaction to that?
Unfortunately, I'm kind of used to like stuff, like used to stuff like this happening, but at that point, I'm kind of like, damn, this is just another obstacle, first war, you know, or you know, and this is conflicts that have been going on for years. But it's very easy for players to kind of just overlook stuff and not really look into what's really happening and what's going on. And I think this was like a time as I look back, not maybe not even in the moment, but as I look back, like, wow, you know, like there's a lot going on here in this area, in this region. Like maybe I should like pay more attention to what's happening. And I don't think I did that enough in my, you know, during my career, just because, you know, it's a situation where, I mean, for me and probably for a lot of basketball players, that basketball is really the only thing that matters. um, uh, and throughout your career, I think if you're aware and if you're looking around, and life happens and you get older, and then basketball kind of becomes lower and lower on the list of important things as your family grows, as different things happen in your life. You start to understand the things that that life brings your way, and then basketball goes further and further down the list, so into where it's maybe the least important thing of the most important things in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's still obviously one of the most important things, but it might be the least important thing of the most important thing. Not that I didn't care about my family and stuff before, but like basketball
Yeah,
was
no
at the
doubt.
top. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like basketball was like, all right, yeah, I love my family, of course, but basketball is everything. And then, as life goes on, things, what's important becomes, it starts to shift, I think, a little bit.
So did the like last, I guess, experience that you've had with all these crazy things with the war in Israel specifically, kind of you're saying it shifted your view a little bit? And did you kind of like keep up with any of the Israeli guys over the
Oh
time?
yeah, I mean, I like you got to see how it affected people on both sides, I think, and you got to see how how real it actually is, and and in the moment, it's hard. It's hard because you make commitments to a team. You have a lot of things going on as far as, you know, politically, as far as your own safety. And it's not something that you're used to. Like, obviously, I'm not used to. You can be used maybe more. So as to the sirens and to the missiles and the bombings, that's not in general something that's normal for a lot of players that are coming to a place. But it's just not only that, you get to look back and see what side you should stand on morally, and that becomes sort of a fight
Yeah,
that you might have with
the
yourself.
battle. Right.
It's another battle that you have.
So,
So it's a lot of factors that go
yeah, it's
into.
definitely it's a lot, but it's crazy. You definitely had to deal with a lot going through all these different countries. But we talked about your Puerto Rican, and you actually played for the Puerto Rican national team a couple times. So why don't we
Yeah.
talk about playing with
Oh
them?
man,
How that
I
was.
started playing with them straight out of college before I signed with France, but I had we had a World Cup qualifier or some qualifier,
It was
and
Olympics, I think. Yeah.
Olympic, no, it was the Olympic qualifier,
Right.
and that was my first experience as a professional. It was down in Argentina, and we were playing an Argentinian team that I think may have gone on to win a medal. Like, this is Manu Ginobili and Luis Scola and one of the classic Argentinian teams, and that was my first experience as like really as a professional, being like, wow, I'm here, I'm guarding Louis, I'm guarding Manu Ginobili right now, like this is crazy. And that was a hell of an experience, and we came up just this short, and that happened a few times in my career. Again, with the Olympic qualifier, we played in Belgrade. I remember we went to the championship, and we played Serbia in Belgrade, and that was a kind of a disaster because it's Serbia, and
Jokic was on the team then, or not yet?
yeah, Jokic was on the team, young Jokic though, young Jokic, but Serbia has hoopers, and
Yes.
it was in Belgrade, so it was tough. It was tough, but like, yeah, those are my Olympic chances that were dashed, and just after I'm done playing with the national team, they go to the Olympics. It's crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy.
That
It
is,
was bitter. It was bittersweet, like because I still played. I had played the World Cup the year before with them, and then this year, the next year, they go to the Olympics, and it's like you're so happy for the guys, and you just think like, damn, they're living out the dream. I never really got to do the Olympics, but it's good to see those guys succeed. And
Right.
I'm always happy for all my teammates and then the country, because obviously we're all together. We're all like, obviously as we're
A
supporting each other.
big Puerto Rican guy like is Tremont Waters.
Yeah,
That's what he
yeah,
did in
yeah,
Boston.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he has his time in Boston, and great player, great
Yeah,
player.
he's tough. He's tough.
Very tough, very tough.
So I just
Yeah,
want to say,
hopefully prayers, shout out to him, prayers for him, make a good recovery. I think he got hurt, so he should hopefully be back this next season.
Right.
yeah, not everyone we get to interview has this experience of overseas, NBA, World
No,
Cup
I
basketball.
listen, I played on every level
Yeah,
that you could probably play basketball. So I have a
But
lot of experience, a lot of
I
knowledge
think I
when it
think
comes to that.
I think what's really cool is that also you're not just an athlete, you also are a student, and I saw that you did the Harvard Business
Oh
School.
yeah, yeah, that was a great
Uh,
experience. That was another great
yeah.
experience. Yeah, I was just trying to take advantage of all the programs that the NBA had to offer at that time. That was another good one that I found very valuable, and
Was it
got
something
some
that
knowledge.
was it something with the rookie transition program with the NBA? Did that have to do anything with it? Or?
Nah, that was one of the programs that was offered to some of the players in the NBA, WNBA, and actually throughout like all the major sports. I think we had guys from everywhere, UFC, NFL. We had a bunch of
What does
people.
that program entail?
It's like crossover into business. So it's basically a business course where you get matched up with some of the current Harvard business students, and you go through different case studies and different basically a course on business and different situations that you might find yourself in. And it's a course with that tries to educate you, tries to gives you a network, it gives you a lot. So
It's super important. We see guys who like they'll go overseas and like they might blow their money and like they don't know what to do in the long run. And we've seen that it's very important to also understand the business side when it comes to playing
I mean,
professional.
I don't, honestly, I don't really see many guys. Maybe, maybe I can't really call it, but like from overseas that blow their money, because I feel like they understand. I
Yeah,
feel
I mean
like guys that go
it's
overseas
more of an
don't really
understanding.
blow their money, like or
Yeah.
they understand that a little better. Maybe in the NBA, because that life is
I do think
not
that
real. It's
I
just
do think
it's
that there's just like a management aspect of like managing your money that like
mhm.
you do have guys overseas who handle their money effectively and you have guys that don't. And it's just there's a broad spectrum of it.
Yeah,
But
but
also
I think the pressures overseas are less
yeah,
than in the NBA. Like I mean, in the NBA,
getting a different life.
it's a lifestyle. It's a
Yeah.
different lifestyle. It's like it's very easy to spend money and get caught up into like different things.
yeah, man. Your
Overseas, like
first
you can wear
girlfriend
the
needs a car,
same thing.
second girlfriend needs a car, and your third girlfriend needs a car.
Yeah,
Okay.
and overseas, I don't think is that kind of pressure. Like like yeah, you can buy nice things, but like if you're in the middle of Turkey somewhere, really you're not buying a car, you're not going out. You could go out, but it's cheaper. Everything is like a little
So
a little less.
we just have a few minutes left. So I wanna just hear maybe you can we have like a bunch of younger hoopers now that are getting into the overseas basketball, like some of the guys that have been listening, their first year, second year players making their way up. And
Yeah.
what's some advice that you might give to a younger player coming up playing professional basketball?
Oh, just keep grinding. Keep following your heart and keep the passion, and it's a grind. It's a grind. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie to anybody and say it's always gonna be easy. Um, and can't lie and say like I came from the bottom. I don't think I came from the. I don't think I've ever really had like a really bad situation. I've been fortunate, but I've heard of situations. It's rough. Um, money is like not a lot of money. just trying to grind for the love of the game and try to work your way up. And I think that's admirable. And they got to keep grinding. And everybody's chasing something. Everybody's trying to level up. And any advice I have, keep going, stick with it, and believe in yourself. I think the belief in yourself, whether at any level, is the most important thing. Believing in what you can do and where you can play, and understanding that even if you're not quite there now, that belief in yourself will take you there if it's real, if you're real about it, and if you put in everything, all the work that somebody there should put in. I think you'll be all right.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's big stuff. And we appreciate you coming on. And in the last minute, we like to do a 24-second shot clock segment that we'll put on. So I'll ask you some quick questions.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll hear.
I'm not very good at that stuff, but let's go.
I gotta
say skip.
I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, you can yell skip if you taking too much time.
All right, let's go.
You ready? Mary,
Let's go.
Start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Country with the best food.
This is tough. Maybe Israel.
Country with the worst food.
Maybe Russia.
Favorite basketball movie?
Oh, favorite basketball movie. He Got Game.
Favorite basketball sneakers?
KD's 14.
All right.
14.
Not gonna lie, that might be a career low that we got.
Yeah, because I like to think about stuff, and I'm like, I'm a slow thinker.
That's fair. But John, seriously, really appreciate you coming on. Wishing you the best. I hope you finish your Puerto Rican stint well, and you have a great summer.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you
for coming, man. Really appreciate it.
And thank you guys for being a voice for all the players out there. And it's much appreciated, for sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you, John, man.